All right, so first thing, okay, oh, there's a lot of things to place for first thing today. One is Ready C. Ready C from Rock the House, DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. Like, that was the first beatboxer I ever knew, and when he could play a beat forward and backwards too. That was the first time I ever heard that. I was a little kid, you know, like 12, 13. It came up today, that's all. And, because it's weird because I'm a white guy who lives in a mostly white place, but there's all this black shit in the news, so I'm thinking a lot about that. As well I should. And I think a lot of shit about racism has it wrong. I said it last time, I'll say it again. That instead of trying to be like, I'm racist or I'm not, or I'm like perfect, or like I see shit right or I don't, or like I'm prejudiced, like we should all admit that we're all prejudiced and that we're curious. Curiosity about other races, other traditions, other histories, other narratives, other mythological or historical narratives. We should be more open to all of that while at the same time. My perspective is that the truth doesn't, right, because there are all these traditions. There are all these traditions. And one person might cling to one tradition or cling to another tradition. My conjecture is that there's a tradition that threads between all traditions. And I know that's not an uncommon belief. But I mean it very specifically. That within every tradition, there is a small percentage correct and everybody else is wrong. So I guess what I see happening is the correctness is of all traditions coming together. In a sense, a new church. For the last year or so, I've been trying to contemplate the reconciliation of beliefs under the Catholic Church, even though I'm not Catholic, nor would I become Catholic. Though I've not expressed why explicitly yet. However, I do believe in the Catholic Church as a whole, not necessarily as a collective, but as the point upon which the collective collapses. For what it's worth. And I watched this video today of this missionary Southern Baptist preacher talk about his congregation. Black dude and a white dude talking. But when you're talking about the black church, like, and all that shit with gospel, right? Ain't nothing. I mean, I'm not trying to be like hypocritical. I'm not trying to be stereotypical. I'm not trying to be culture signaling. But like, sometimes reason fails or explanation fails where feeling succeeds, right? And that's even that in its simplicity is a very complicated way of justifying the fact that, like, flat out, female, black, aka African American, gospel, Christian music is the fucking bomb. The bomb. The bomb. Period. It's unimpeachable or impeachable. It's unimpeachable. It is closer to the omega point than nearly all black. No, people think Nietzsche's against God. That ain't it. Nietzsche was the last cry for God of his time. He's associated with the Nazis. That ain't it. Nietzsche was the last cry for the Nazis, for God. Just saying. The next cry for God from the populace is the gospel music of the black church. But what doesn't come up enough, and how interesting, and it seems a lot in different circles. Like, these seem like different circles. But, like, the bottom line, Old Testament, the Bible, the biggest book ever. The most famous, period. End of story. There are encroachments. But like, the New and Old Testament are still the most famous story ever. And it's interesting to me that so far, I'm not going to get into the New Testament, but so far as the Old Testament goes, let's make it clear. Moses was brown. His wife was black. Blue black. Moses was brown. So brown most people call him black. Moses' wife was blue black. Depending on how you fall on the New and Old Testament, you might feel one way or another about that. That's how I'm saying it. But let me tell you, Anyway, a couple things I want to get out of the way real quick before I do what today's about, because today's just actually play. But I had to say that much. Bloodless sacrifice. You might wonder, it's always the same bottle. They're $4 down the store. They used to be $3, now they're a little over 4, but it's the cheapest wine. It has sulfates in it, but it's like quarter mile, half mile down the road, booze store. They have one bottle of wine that doesn't have sulfates in it, and they have hundreds and hundreds of bottles of wine, like, I don't know, maybe 5 rows, both sides, like 20-30 feet long, of wine. This is the cheapest one. They all got sulfates except for one brand, which is $14. That's 10 more than this one. That stress on my economy will create more stress in my body than the sulfates. Does that make sense? All things work together. The sulfates are bad, but the stress on my economy is bad. I like to drink. Now, they have other sulfite wines that cost $20, $30, $40, $50, $60. They all got the sulfites, whatever. They got one without it. There's another bottle I like to buy that costs $9. There's another one I like to buy. There's another one, this is Shiraz. Depends on how you break that up etymologically. The other one I like to buy has pictures of the Easter Island on it. Still has the sulfates. $9. The one without, $14. Which is still pretty cheap for wine. And cheaper than some of the more expensive wines that still got them fucking sulfate shit motherfuckers in. Are all sulfates equal? Until we're all alchemists, you and I don't know. Blood the sacrifice. This is the blood of the grape, but not the blood of the lamb. So it's the blood, but it's not the blood. The body and the bread is the body. Earth into the earth, bro. I'm just talking shit. I just want to get this out of the way. I got this bag of tobacco a year ago. Or about a year ago. More than a year ago. I got laid off like the day before my birthday a year ago. It was only today I realized I was 44. Like, shit was so fucked up a year ago, I completely forgot that I turned 44. A few people have asked me over the last several months, like, how old are you? You know, just in conversation. Oh, I'm 43. I thought I was 43. I'm not. I'm 44. So for the last 6 months, because shit was so fucked up with COVID, and shit was so fucked up with my life, I forgot that I was 44. I just realized it today. I was painting this ceiling. I was clear coating this polyurethane wood ceiling. And I realized, like, I was like, wait a minute. What year is it? Wait a minute. How old am I? I'm 44. The difference between 43 and 44 numerically? Not so much. Unless you're into super hardcore math. And then there's a big difference. But like, psychologically, when I realized that I wasn't 44, or that I wasn't 43, but that I was 44, that much closer to 45, which rounds up to 50, versus 43, which rounds down to 40. When I went today, while I was painting this ceiling, and I was like, wait a minute, da, 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 da. I had to count it like 15 times. I was born in 77, the early part of the year. It's the mid part of the year. It's 2021. I'm 44. I literally I did not realize that till today. And I've been 44 for a few months. But all of a sudden I shifted from 40 to 50. That hurt like a bitch. Luckily, other things happened in my life over the last 2 weeks that hurt so much fucking more, I barely noticed. Anyway, yeah, if you've watched any of my other videos, this was a prominent image. It reminds me of my tiger cubs. When I was in like first grade, I was in tiger cubs. We went to a wild bird preserve where there were all these planks stretched through a swamp where we could look at the birds. And as a little kid, I didn't know shit. I was just like, bird, swamp, I want a snack. I'm pretty much that way now, except I'm like bird, chipmunk, bird, I want a snack. I wonder what it's like to be God. But anyway, this tobacco has been sitting, and it came from this bag over on that bench over there for a while. It's the last of it. I just want to wrap it up and remember what this last year has represented to me. I don't know how I'm going to do that because I don't have any wraps. So I'm going to have to untwirl a cigarette. This is so ridiculous, but sometimes symbology requires such. So this is a cigarette, perfectly smokable. I'm going to split it open with my fingernails. So I guess you could say in a sense it's a ritual, and I'm not proud of it. And it is likely quite bad. There, I just did it. Split open this cigarette. And then I'm going to roll a little pinna. A pinna! Should I smoke it or throw it away? I'm going to smoke it for symbology. And I got this little bit of tobacco from here, from when I was laid off a year, 14 months ago when I was laid off, because we didn't know what was going to happen. It was all fucked up. By the way, I never got my unemployment. I did get my stimulus checks though, thank goodness. That kept me through. I applied for the unemployment, never got it. I was off for 4 weeks, but 4.5, 5, 6, something like that. Time blurred. If you watch my videos from back then, you'll know what I mean. I haven't posted them all. I got another one. Not that it matters, but it kind of matters. It kind of matters. Yeah. Because if I lived in Pompeii, this shit would be priceless. So in 1,000 years, this shit will be priceless. If this piece of information holds. I only give a fuck about the omega point. This is it, man. Stuff all that fucking tobacco in there. I won't get it all. But this is it. This is the last fucking... This is the last call. This fucking smoke. This old cowboy. Two-cut cowboy. Cowboy. I wish it were more beautiful, I wish it were more symbolic, but the truth is, I have to get rid of it for my own sake and remember it for my own sake, especially because the last week has been a very trying time for me. Though the last month has been a very beautiful, the last 2 months has been a very beautiful time for me. I've had a very beautiful 2 months compared to the last 5 years. The last 2 months compared to the last 10 years has been abysmal. And the last week and a half or a week compared to the last 2 months has been abysmal. Work that out. But the beauty still exists, and I have to recognize it, and it's time to close ties. It's time to tie knots. It's time to draw distinctions. Now, there ain't no stickum on this paper, so we gotta rely on the saliva itself. As it so happens, the more acidic we are... Oh, no. The more acidic we are, the more that paper binds. Fuck. I just bursted the pregnant snake in the middle. But I gotta do this before I do the other thing. I have to. Sometimes the code prevails. I'm gonna get to a throat singing thing, I think. I gotta do this. The only reason I hope this serves is because I know there are people dumb as me. I know there are all y'all doing shit like this. That means you're dumb as me. Okay, let's talk. And worse, or quote-unquote worse, not necessarily worse. Meth heads, heroin addicts, all that shit. Pretty much sure I've never done meth. Might have. You know, sometimes people trick up that meth coke shit. Pretty much never well did heroin, did lots of opium. In a brief stage of my life, you know. So, there's a lot of lost folk. Man. You lost folk. You super lost folk. You super lost people, man. You don't realize. How important you are. If every person who is going to kill themselves over the next year got together, talked, did a thing, if all the people over the next year who are going to kill themselves, I won't reach you in time. I hope to reach some in time, but if you all got together and said it to each other, like you say it to yourself, like it is, you know when you think you don't know. This is what I'm saying to the suicided ghosts. You know when you think you don't know. And if all y'all motherfucking ghosts, all y'all suicides, got together, said it like it was, as you know it, to each other, this whole fucking shitbag would be over. And that is the project. There is no cure for humanity, for souls, for the spirit, until butchery itself, murder, war is a popular one. But butchery and murder don't come up much, nor does suicide. A lot of folk call suicide like a good thing. Population control. No. Suicide is the final attack of the enemy. The cure for suicide is the cure. Period. We'll give this another little bit of it. I mean, it's a weak ritual, but I don't care. I just need to get this object out of my life because it's been sitting on my stool for so long. Come on, baby. This is saying goodbye to COVID-19, man. To 19 videos. To vid video 19. I'll let you do the math on that. Bye-bye. Cowboy. Tiger Cub. Come on, baby, you gotta smoke better than that. At least for a couple puffs. Sometimes that's all you need, you know what I mean? I'm sorry. It's not working. Still not working. Where are my goddamn buglers? Well, it's burning. Bye-bye, 2 cup. It's hot as a fuck. Now we work. Now I'm embarrassed, and I know this is a much more inebriated and uncool video. I'm less cool than I hoped I would be. But the whole idea is that I wanted to progress the thing in my mind. Broken as I am. And I know none of this will matter for another decade or so. And I always want to explode upon the scene, so to speak. I'm dying. I'm just dying to talk about Sejong the Great. I'm just dying to talk about Sejong the Great. Every time I watch a Yeonmi Park, Yeonmi Park, every time I watch one of her videos, I'm just like, I'm itching to just start typing in comments for like fucking 3 pages, like, Sejong the Great, Sejong the Great, Sejong the Great, Sejong the Great. I'm just itching for it. I feel like exploding into the now. But I have to wait. Patience is very difficult. Very difficult. Impatience. People always want to get to the now. People always want to ascend, raise the vibration. And that's excellent. Rarely is the concept of patience applied to that same structure. Patience is spoken of. There's a mythology, several mythologies that condense upon the collective mythology of patience, which doesn't always also associate itself with immediacy. So that place between, immediacy and patience. Like, I want to go out into the fucking world, man, and talk Sejong the fucking Great. And I want to go out into the world and talk vegan Bible. And I want to talk adult Bible. I have this idea in my mind. Because it ain't been done. And it is going to be. By me or someone else. But like, it's gonna be done. Adult Bible. 18 plus. Unrated God talk. It's gonna happen. It's the only thing that's gonna change the fucking world. Period. I'm leaving hanging threads, but maybe I'll just try to get what I was trying to get to, is advancing this lyric. Or lyrical. Or lyricality. It's $4. But I tried, you know. I tried 20, 30 different ones that, you know, down the way. And, that other $14 one, good. That other $9 one, good. But for $4, this one dry as shit. I like dry wine, not sweet wine. I like dry, room temperature wine. No sugar, no coolness. That's what I like. I don't know why. When I went to my brother's wedding, we went to a wine bar thing. And I was like, yeah, can I have what's warm and dry? And the lady at the bar was like, I have a nice cool sweet wine for you. So I drank that. I didn't like it. I got drunk anyway. But I like it dry and warm. My beers are like cold and not hoppy. I'll get into that some other time, and that has to do with Egyptian beer. Flat out. Sorry I'm being like this. It's just the way I am today. Alright. Doom. 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 This might not work out. Was that a discouragement? That's that's the part where it vibrates from my skull. Alright, I'm gonna try to remind myself like I would to my junior high friends if I had them. Whoa!